Welcome to When I Fell in Love with Hip Hop. I'm your show host, Israel Picasso. We tuning live from St. Louis, Missouri. Today's guest is, can you tell the crowd who you are and where you from?
I'm from France, from Paris. I was born in Paris in the 60s. That was a
Okay,
long time. Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let them know what's your name though.
My name is Johnson Amiral.
Okay, okay. Can you let the crowd know how was it for you growing up?
I'm growing up in one little town near from Paris called Le Mans. It's in France, near Paris.
Okay, what type of things did you experience?
What?
What type of things did you experience growing up?
My experience it's a very sad experience because it's a little racist town, very racist, and the peeps in this town are very idiots and they are not intelligent because the racism in France is more important than in USA, very more important.
Okay, okay. So when did you fall in love with hip hop?
I started hip hop in 1984. Why I listened my first track with African Bambata and John Lydon's called "The World Destructions" in 1984, and I
Okay,
start and I start in hip hop like composer in 1987.
okay, okay. So how did your people feel when you started expressing hip hop? Did your family embrace you?
For my peeps, it was a great surprise because I was one of the first rappers in my state in France, and like a militant, a black militant, all my peeps appreciate me. And for my family, I never meet my family. I'm going out so lonely with a family. And I referred my family there was 10 years ago, but they did. My only famous is a hip hop famous from the West Side.
Okay,
It's my famous. Okay.
okay. When was the first time you started rhyming? Can you recall?
The first times I wrote some lyrics, it was in 1987 when I started to listen PA, Public Enemy with Shaggy and Flavor Flip at Fantastic Wings, a militant band, hip hop band from NAC. And they're very, very, very important for me because there are some militants.
Yeah, yeah, they are.
Yeah,
They are.
yeah,
So
yeah,
is that where
yeah.
is that where you got your inspiration from as an artist?
What?
Is that where you got your inspiration from as an artist?
Yeah, 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 yeah. My inspirations come from PA. It's come from Bob Marley and the Wailers. Only some militant artists.
Okay, okay,
Because I'm a militant artist.
yeah,
For me, rap it's mean rhythm and politics.
yeah.
RAP. Yeah.
Yes, 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 it is. You know, rap really helps you get to the people. And you can use your voice to do things to change the world.
Yeah, I think the hip hop artist can change the world. It's my mission too, because we got some message against the racism, against the politician. Because for me, the politician is a pure fiction.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
why do you feel like that? Can you explain that?
What
Why do you feel like that? Can you explain why you feel like that about the politicians?
about the politician? For me, the first gangsters in the U.S. is not the Crips and the Bloods. The first gangsters is Mr. Biden and his own administration. All the politicians are some gangsters because they stole the peoples
Mm.
day by and years by years. When
Yeah.
I went in North Carolina, there was 6 months. 6 months. Oh wait, yeah, 6 months ago in the Stanville ghetto. I never saw this. All my peeps are and stayed in misery in the states. They stay in misery in LA. I saw the misery in Harlem, in the Bronx, and the politicians do nothing. Years after years, D Trump fucked my peeps for
Okay.
four,
You right.
5 years. I hate D Trump. I know Mr. Biden is come in WDC and there's nothing changed. Nothing. For my peeps, it's only the poverty in the ghetto. It's all. On my
Yeah.
missions, yeah, on my missions are like MC, it's to have one intelligent message for my peoples. It's all for my
So
community.
it's something like Tupac did. You know, Tupac was trying to bring the people together.
Yeah. Peck was very intelligent, and he was a pure militant, and the Shakur family too.
Yeah. Rest in
Yeah,
peace, Tupac Shakur.
and yeah. Rest in peace, Mr. Peck.
Shakur family.
Okay. And his own brothers, Multi Shakur, is always in jail. Why? Because uh, because uh, because the Shakur family, there are some militant Black Panthers militant,
Yeah.
and
Free
they
Shakur.
kill them, put them in jail, and all.
Yeah. Yeah.
R.I.P. Mr. Peck, R.I.P. Rest in peace.
Rest in
And
peace.
we let you never R.I.P.C.T. Respect.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Can you, can you talk about the message you were sending on Never Again, your single, and how did you get a feature with Eminem on that?
Yeah, with Eminem, I made one features called Never Again. It's again D Trump and the D Trump administrations. Because I hate the white supremacy, I hate the KKK, and I hate all the racism all over the world. I hate Mr. Trump because he ate my peeps. You know this? And I hate the US police brutalities too. They killed one guy, Mr. George Floyd. That was 2 years ago. Okay? And I think we must make one other 1 million march in Louisville, DC early with 1 million of guns in the streets.
Yeah.
It's all. It's Mr. Trump is a Nazi. It's all. He's a fascist. And
Oh,
with him, we made this tracks called Never Again. It's again the fascism, again the KKK, again the white supremacy, and again the Trump administration.
yeah.
I'm a militant, and Ems is a militant too. He's very intelligent. He's a white rapper. Okay, it's true, but he's a militant too.
Yeah. So you saying he with the people, just like you is.
What?
So you saying basically like Eminem with the people. He
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah. I work with Mr. DG Yumsi from is a Shady 45 DGs and JUNA DGs, and he
okay.
made a lot of mixtape,
Yeah,
and
we're gonna
we've got
talk about that. Let's get into the next question. Okay.
yeah,
It's always good to take things step by step. That's also a single that you have produced by DJ King Assassin. How
yeah.
did you create that record and what response did you get?
I met Mr. DT King SA in Pomone in Kelly. There was 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Before this, he contacted me by messengers and he sent me one text, one instrumental text. After I joined him in Pomone for one show, after I make the singles and we put these singles with SSMG in Grove Universal Los Angeles on BET International, MTV International, and a lot of medias for these singles. Because I respect Mr. King Hassan. It was Peck DJs and producers. It produced Easy, Akon, Abavelo, and a lot of artists. Is big, a very big DJs, and is my friend too. I appreciate him a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot of Mr. DJ King Assay. He's a
Okay,
great
yeah.
guy,
Shout out
great
to
producer.
DJ King Assassin.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
I'm very done with this DJ. And he work with Interscope. He produced Kendrick Lamar. There was 2 weeks ago. He produced I remember 21 Savage. He produced a lot of artists like Akon, Wyclef Jean, and a
you said
lot of
artists like 21 Savage.
yeah. He worked with 21 Savage the last summer for Interscope from Kelly.
Wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. He's a very big DJ and he's very intelligent. He's very patient and he work very hard. And he work in the pace with Spec on the DMR tracks.
Okay,
With because the first versions of DMR was interpreted by Yo-Yo.
okay.
Yeah, and after he worked with Spec and with Signate on these tracks on studios, and for me he's a big producer and he's my friend too. He's very cool and he's very nice person, but he work a lot.
Yeah, hard work and dedication, man. That's what keeps you and builds your legacy.
What? I don't hear.
Hard work and dedication. That's what builds your legacy in this industry. You have to build legacy. You have to build, some type of rapport with the people, and that's what it does when you stay consistent, like DJ King Assassin did. He stayed consistent. He was here when Tupac was alive, and he's still relevant to today.
Yeah, I think if Beck was alive today, the West Coast hip hop games wasn't the same
Yeah,
because Beck was a very big personality, and and I think now all the rappers, all the big rappers, um, have not the same system in his mantles. Because I think Peck can open the doors to other rappers. You know,
yeah.
when you are a mutant, you say, "Well, come on, come on, come on." I know. Then the new rappers from the West Coast are not some militants, and they work from themselves, only
Yeah,
from themselves. And there is not a real movement, a real political movement, a real militant movement.
you right. You right. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next question. Uh,
Yeah.
who are some of the artists that you have worked with in this music industry besides Eminem?
Except Eminem's artwork with Mr. Mark Penn Wilson's. Um, he was a Tim Lamoton composer for Teddy Pendergrass in Pest. I made one tracks with him. I work with Taylor Made, the famous composer for Def Jam New York City, and produced Nas, Jay Z, Talib Kweli, all
You
the
worked
and
with Jay-Z before?
uh, yeah. It's and his name is Taylor Made from Juice from NAC. And I work with MC Jamelski from Boogie Down Production from New York. And I work from different West Coast teams like Woodstars, labels from Los Angeles, with Ruthless from Compton. I
Okay.
work with DJ King Asing. I work with DJ Youngsi, with one DJ who's coming from the Wu Tang Clans DJs coalitions, who's called DJ Vietnam Elvin Jones. And I work with a lot of teams in the US, a lot of
Okay.
teams.
How did you get a chance to work with Jay-Z?
With Jay Z, I never meet Jay Z.
Um,
It's not, no, because now I work only for the West Side. And by the West Side, it's only It's
Okay.
my yeah. I work. There was 12 years ago for different NAC producers like Taylor Made from Juice. Like I worked with Rizzy from the Wu-Tang Clan. I work with a lot. I work with Art 97.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I had some interview with Sirius XM, the M's and the J Unit radio station.
Shade
I
four
work
five.
with huh?
Shade 45.
With Sirius XM in
Okay.
Budapest. Okay,
Okay.
and
Is that the same radio station that has what's his name who's on XM Sirius XM? What's his name? The guy that used to be on MTV a lot. Uh, I forget his name. We'll come back to it. What new projects are you working on, and when can the fans expect new music from you?
yeah, I prepare one little albums, one EPs produced by Mr. Gigi King, I think, for June or July.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can find this on iTunes and more Amazon and more.
Okay.
I've got and I've got I must go in Seattle for the West Coast Hip Hop Awards. Drive by my friend who's called Octavius Mills. And on this celebration, you can find Ace Cube from NWA, Nick Cannon, all the Black Stars from the West States come in this celebration. And I must work on one radio promotion single produced by Mr. Eno Domini from California, from Los Angeles, with one big pop feature who's called Ariana Grande.
Okay.
And I've got one little tour and some radio promotions. I do have my own TV show too in New
Yeah.
York
Yeah.
City.
I was going to
Yeah,
talk about. Yeah. Let's discuss that. How did you get your own TV show?
my TV show is called Vids and World TV show. Is diffused and two NHS channels was called Brooklyn Free Speech and BAC TV channel ones in NH in Brooklyn and in MNN4, one Manhattan channels. It's every Friday at 11 p.m. and bi-weekly on the Monday at 1 a.m. And we rested this show in 1 month every Friday at 11 p.m. I present this show with my friends Kiwim Zefinier. She is one artist from Houston City in the Texas. No, and now she lives in Brasilia. And she's one pop trap hip hop artist. She ever won two two LPs called Theorem, and the other album is called Obsession. Is and she's a nice artist. And on my TV show, she's present for the fashions, for the makeup, for the girl systems. And my own TV shows talk about music, West Coast hip hop music, sports, fashion, and events.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
you can,
Let's move to the next question. You ready?
yeah.
Okay. How is it being in France? And do the people feel about hip hop the same way you do?
In France, there is one little hip hop movement, one very little hip hop movement, and there started this movement. There was 25 years ago in Paris, with some old timers like Assassin Productions, like I don't know, a lot of all these French hip hop oldies, but the first hip hop bands called Assassin Productions. It's
Okay.
and they work with KRS One in NAC with a lot of NAC artists, and they are very nice. And now you have the young generation. They have some real and good beat makers. It's coming from Marseille, Lille, Paris, Nantes, and everywhere, and some MCs too, but they are not militant. It's different. It's a different mental and a different system than the USA. But but there are some very good rappers too, because they love the hip hop music.
Okay, okay,
When you talk about the US, in one French island cities, they say, "Wow, the US MCs, wow, wow, wow," and they try to copy the US MCs with them size, because in because the rappers from France is coming from Africa, from Morocco, from Algeria, from Senegal, Cameroon, and they live in France. And for them, the hip hop is the first expression.
okay,
Cause yeah, because here in France there are a lot of racism, and they have no job only the hip hop or the drugs deals.
okay, okay. Well, let's move to the next question. This next question, I'm gonna need you to answer this with your best abilities. Uh,
What?
this next question, I'm gonna need you to answer with your best ability. Who is your top five favorite artists of all time?
Yeah, for me number five is Public Enemy. After in number four, you've got Mr. Snoop Doggy Dogg. After in number three, you've got Ems. After in number two, you've got Dairy from NWA, Mr. Dre is very good. And for the first is Mr. Beck. It's all.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, that's a good top five, man. I like that top five. Okay, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What's your plans on building legacy?
Of my what?
What are your plans on building legacy?
Got my plan. For the future.
Yes.
Yes, for the futures. I think I must win one West Coast Hip Hop Awards in my pocket, and I want to make one deal with Interscope Records for one LPs, and after I want to leave the hip hop because I've got nearly 51st, no 55. I'm very tired. I'm a little old, and I want to have a nice place in one secret place in this world. I don't know where. In Mexico, in the US, in under the sun, because I'm
Yeah.
very tired. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a real job, and we take some plane. I'm very tired,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it's my work.
What ties do you have to the West Coast, and how did the West Coast accept you?
Why?
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, oh, how did they accept you? Did they accept you as family on the West Coast?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I work for the West Coast. I represent for the West Coast, and we are the West Coast. The first time I went in LA, it was there was 6 years ago. I went in Linwood, in Compton City, in Santa Monica Beach. I went in Arbor. I went in Greenshaw. And for me, since I work DJ King AC, it's my place.
So you got connected with the Crips.
Yeah, with the Crips, with some
What
Crips.
what
Um,
what kind of Crips was
name,
they?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he
The
said what kind of Crips was they?
Because I work with Mr. Reggie Utstar West from Utstar Magazine and with QC, and they're coming from Long Beach and from Arbor, and there are some Crips.
Oh, so they was what they was 20 Crips?
Yeah, 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 some Crips. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, what is a Crips?
Okay,
Yeah.
so my next question I want to ask you, man, how do you feel about Snoop Dogg gaining Death Row Records and Harry O coming home from prison?
Yeah, I'm very happy to see Mr. Snoop to be the death row bossing now. No, Mr. Snoop is the death of boxing, and I appreciate this. I really appreciate this because only Snoop can represent these labels after Mr. Signate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. And because Mr. Snoop is very serious in this business. Nobody except him I, uh, I can do this because he's very serious and he have a big experience with Death Row Records. And if I remember, he's a very good Thug Night friends too. For me, he's the best ambassador and the best, and yeah, uh, he's the best Death Row ambassador before to be the Death Row boss.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Free Suge Knight. Free Suge
A
Knight.
lot of Death Row Records, a lot of. He's a big labels with Ruthless Records.
Yeah.
In the West, upper you've got Ruthless Records, you've got Aftermath Records, and you've got Death Row Records. You've got Woodstock labels. For me, they are the best.
Yeah.
Uh, and I appreciate Aftermath with Dairy. It's a big label, and Dairy is a real artist. And when I saw the Super Bowl show, wow, yeah. He prepared for the USA.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Dr. Dre or Snoop before?
Yeah, I work. I'm on link with one manager's come from Interscope Records, and she sent my demo to Dre since 6 months. And before there was 3 years ago, I work with the Snoop Dogg and sound engineers who's called Q City Kid from Long Beach. And he sent my demo to Dre, to Snoop, every teams. They know my work, I know them work. But
Okay.
then so the Snoop Dogg is very funny. Snoop is big store and is a militant.
Yeah. Shout out to Snoop. Shout out to Uncle Snoop.
Yeah. It's very funny, but he's a militant.
Yeah. He a politician. I was just interviewing Reggie Wright Jr. He was saying the same thing about Snoop, saying he was a good politician for the West Coast.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about Harry O coming home from prison?
From what?
How do you feel about Harry O coming home from prison?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing.
Okay.
Next.
Do you have any merch or sponsors you want to promote?
No, they said.
No merchandise or sponsors that you promote?
No, I've got no post case, and some merchandising. You can find my LPs on what's called West Coast Gangster Funk on iTunes, produced by DJ King Austin, distributed by Ingrove Universal in LA. I have got 3 singles, who's called Odd Girls, who's called Nine Baby, and was other singles on iTunes and Amazon by Ingrove Universal, SSMG, Drive by Miss Stephanie Games. And I've got 1 singles on Sony Music the Orchard on iTunes, who's called Get On. You can find all my vids on my YouTube channel. It's called Johnson AMR. And you can find me on Facebook, Pierre Johnson. You can go on Google and subscribe Johnson AMR.
What about are you on Instagram?
I've got Instagram. My Instagram is Johnson AMR.
Okay.
There's no problem with this.
Do you have any, before we leave this show, do you have any shout outs you want to give out to the people? Anybody want to shout out before we go?
What?
Do you want to shout anybody out before we leave? You want to you know, talk shout out to your people or whatever before we leave?
Yeah. I would like to salute all my friends, DJ Kings, and would like to salute the Worthless Records. I would like to salute all the West Coast hip hop. I would like to also salute Mr. Octavius Melrose, the West Coast Hip Hop Awards Boston. I like to salute all the Crips, Mr. Snoop, Mr. Kills to the Kids. I would like to salute to the NAC peoples, all to the Atlanta peoples, all North Carolina peoples, Linwood's peoples, and I like to salute the Napsi Soul Memories too.
Okay. I what kind of monument is there behind you? Can you show that in the camera? The building behind you?
I can hear you.
The building that's behind you. Can you show that in the camera? The building. What is that a statue behind you?
No.
What is it?
What is it? It's nothing. It's nothing.
Okay, yeah. I'm just trying to see if it's like a monument or something.
No.
All right, we finna get out of here, man. I appreciate you coming on the platform. Can you let the crowd know what podcast you on? Just let them know when I fell in love with hip hop.
Yeah. I like you blog the one I feel hip hop. There's no problems, and I appreciate this. And pop. I love the hip hop too. Because it's my life, it's my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you got any advice you can give to the younger generation? What advice can you give to the younger generation?
For the young generation, to be a militant. The first, for me, rap is mean rhythm and politics. To be a militant, don't think to the money before. Don't do the think to the music, to the art, and to be one militant.
Yeah.
It's
And
all.
keep your heart pure.
Yeah. And keep it
Put
right this.
God first.
Bless. Because
Okay.
hip hop is important. It's one black art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like hip hop back. I feel like this podcast is bringing hip hop back. So y'all tune in to When I Fell in Love with Hip Hop. When this hit the YouTube, I need y'all to like and subscribe and hit a comment. Let's get a comment in the sections. I appreciate you, Amiral Johnson, coming on the platform once again, man. I'm Israel Picasso. This is When I Fell in Love with Hip Hop. We out of here. Peace.
Okay, we got this. Crips forever and West Coast hip hop. Okay, and